So there is something that I need to talk about, and I'm sorry, but the government is not gonna hush me and shut my freedom of speech up or anything like that. It's called confusion, trauma, love, logic, addiction, science, more trauma, and psychological war. Some words may not be good for the younger generation, but here we go. Some fucking goof. March 21st, 2024. I left my ex-husband in Calgary, Alberta. He got his papers and then went sideways on me, went psycho on me. Started asking me what kind of car would I drive next, when there were wires hanging from the bottom of my car, but he said that he never seen them. Meanwhile, I took a picture of it. I wound up leaving. The guy raped my dog. I wound up leaving, and there was proof of that. I wound up leaving after I knew that he was psychotic, or seen some of his, like his true colors. Anyways, got down to Medicine Hat, moved all my belongings down to Medicine Hat, thanks to my oldest daughter who helped out with that one. I was working a full-time job in Calgary as well, but to flee shortly after my stepdad died, and then my ex to do something like that messed me up. Some fucking goof followed me while I was out for a walk with my dog. This guy wearing a ski mask and glasses. I thought it was a black guy. I almost walked into the house and said, fuck this, but instead I walked back outside, opened the truck door, Mocha, my dog, hopped in, and I chased the bastard down. Turned out to be my oldest daughter's ex-boyfriend, DJ. I made him pull off the mask, so I knew who it was. Fucking little prick. He's lucky I didn't end his life then and there. What in the fuck? Came home, called the police, they got my statement, and when I went to show the officer the camera, the only thing that was caught on my camera was me coming back and backing up the truck. It didn't catch the little prick trying to get my dog, which means they had already hacked my camera, my phone, my Wi-Fi, all of it. Shortly after that, I came home and someone was in my home, tied up a flat iron up from one pole to another pole underneath my bed. I only noticed it because I had bought my youngest daughter a kitten, and Mocha, my dog, chased her under the bed. I was still moving in at the time as well, so was unsure of where everything was. Plus, I had just lost my stepdad and separated from my ex-husband. Called the police again. They came in. 2 officers came into my home, looked, seen the flat iron, but wouldn't check the attic out, and just said, well, is there drywall, like, on the floor? Said to keep all your windows and doors locked. Then was doing a mental health course with Mona Cooley, recommended by Kim Barr, an old manager from Tommy Guns. Later on that night, I was upstairs messing around on my computer. Around 2 a.m., someone tries to enter my residence through the patio door. Both my dog and I heard it. Went downstairs and there was a little white car parked behind the shed, almost to hide it, and some guy on the street walking towards the car saying, fucking dog. Called my dad, whom I just found out was my father, Darwin. He didn't answer. I don't know if I was looking for the same response as like my stepdad when my stepdad was around, but definitely isn't the father that I needed him to be. I hit a panic button, scared. Next day, I called the police. A lady officer came to my home and she said to put something in front of my patio door, pretty much barricade myself in there. Like, what in the fuck? My dad also called and he said, well, why were you up at 2 a.m.? My panties left downstairs in my home beside my massage table. I was creeped right out. Summertime 2025, I noticed that there were a Mexican moving into an apartment where an Arabic guy was living. I heard my ex's laugh. I was like, great, motherfucker is stalking me. He's there. Cigarettes were left outside the back of my place, like trying to like get me to go outside. Dead birds with their chest ripped open under the chair. Shortly after this, my Wi-Fi was hacked. My phone number was being redirected. When I was trying to call out, couldn't even access 911 properly. August 1st, 2025, I left my place a resident in Medicine Hat for the first time. I heard a pop outside and was scared. It was an act and fake, no flash, no nothing. I know that, but was scared regardless. Scared me enough to leave, yes. Then I called my daughter Hope, and there was another person on the line crying in those apartments also. I'm not sure though. I left the house and went over to see my kid. I stopped and grabbed a hamburger from Burger King. I couldn't even do this anymore. Seen my kid, but I couldn't even talk to her. Like, I legit couldn't even talk to her. When I came back, because I was scared who was listening, because it was like something else was like going on with our phones. And why, I don't know. And then when I came back, I went into the weed store, picked up 2 weed pops. 2 East Indian guys came in there. One guy comes out, he's like, what's your name? Tony? He's like, nice, you have Facebook? I'm like, don't add me to Facebook because my Facebook just got hacked. The one guy came out. I was scared to talk to my kid for fear who the fuck was listening and didn't trust it. I went home after seeing my kid when she was staying at the motel. And when I went to my home, I noticed the alarm wasn't set, and I had set it. So I went in and I like paid attention and it was off, and I was like, fuck's sakes, somebody's been in my house, somebody's in my house. But it wasn't right, I know that. I realized I forgot my smokes in the car. I went outside to get them, and I didn't even know where to smoke because I didn't want to go out the back door. And this guy was behind my car, had something he was twisting in his sleeve, didn't look right and didn't seem right either. I immediately left my place of residence, grabbed my purse and Mocha, my dog, got in my car and started driving. Went down Highway 41 and noticed that 3 vehicles were following me. Not right away. Away down the highway I was, but still could see the number 1. I was like, shit. I threw my phone out the window. Then my Fitbit started going off like some weird red shit. The lights in front of me went all red as well. I was like, holy fuck, what is going on? I passed a grain truck on the oncoming side of the highway. He was pulled over, probably sleeping for the night. I thought of pulling over and talking to the person, but it was at night and I wanted to lose the people that were following me, and that wasn't exactly safe either. Probably safer than what I was going through. So I didn't stop. Then a semi passed me oncoming. I thought to myself, I bet that was my cousin or my uncle, but even their farm I didn't stop at because I was terrified and didn't want to bring the danger to them, so I kept on going. Made it out to Oyen, Alberta. Slowly went in there, drove around the town, checked it out, pulled in front of the motel, looked quiet, but I was even terrified to get out of my car. I sat there and waited for the sun to rise. A few guys, working guys, came out of the motel and they left. I was so tired and felt so gross. I went and checked out the motel room. One was open and I stayed the morning after they had left. And I showered as well. I didn't care. I needed sleep. I made it to Strathmore, Alberta. True North helped me out. Well, I had to write a statement, or apparently the RCMP officer did. Who the fuck knows? Mocha went into Calgary Humane Society, but after 21 days, I had to come and get her, otherwise she would be given up for adoption. I was like, fuck no. I wound up going back to Medicine Hat. At this time, my oldest daughter moved into my home. Then when I got back, her dog suddenly goes missing. Harley. She was mad that I was back as well. She thought I was, I was mad that I was back. Like, it was such a fucking mess. It was unreal. Like, this man fucking destroyed my life. And shit started happening all over again. September 1st, 2025, right after I paid rent, I wound up leaving again. There was a guy across the street at the neighbor's patio that looked like a sniper. A black guy next door. Every time I went outside the front for smoke or something, he would follow my actions. When I went to the house and he asked if they had seen my youngest daughter one time, she came running over to the house, barely wearing anything, like shorts and a hoodie, looking for smoke butts outside. It looked like a mess, but when I went over there, I had asked the black lady that was living there, and she said, "It's your daughter doing this." I was like, no. I asked if they had seen my ex-husband in the area. And as a matter of fact, my daughter's a victim from this as well. I was like, what in the fuck? I didn't trust these people at all. One night I went to go outside the front and a man was pacing the front porch, and it sounded like he cocked a gun, or it sounded like uncocking a gun, but definitely sounded like cocking or uncocking a gun. It was fucked up, and I was like, what the fuck? Again. I wound up leaving again. This time I got closer to Strathmore, and Carlos calls me regarding the lights flashing in the bathroom. There was some weird something going on, and you could hear it just like a woo, 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 woo. And an apparent short, and the flashing lights in the bathroom. I told him he has to go through Hope, that I was unavailable to do this. I made it to my brother's, where I was tasered and stun gunned by my brother while I was sitting on the couch in disbelief of what was actually happening. At the time it happened, I didn't realize that I was tasered or stun gunned. My right eye went out to the side, and my brother was standing behind me laughing. I heard voices coming from the living room door that led outside. Sounded like Charlie. However, my brother had something that was hooked up speaker downstairs, where it sounded like things being dropped or bombed, I realized it was them. Nat started acting weird when I called Hope and said, "See, your mom is having fun here." I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I talked to Nicole from Rent Better, and she was like literally crying on the phone. I told her I couldn't do it there. After everything that was going on, it was my ex and my brother, I'm sure of it. The next day, I went outside to have a smoke at Peter and Nat's place in the morning while my mother is there too, and there's a set of keys left in the door that fit the door but didn't unlock the door. That was it. I left again. There was a van parked on the corner of the parking lot with something electrical in it. You could see the electricity. And when I talk to Alberta Health Services and when I talk to fucking anybody else, they're trying to say I'm paranoid, probably because it's them. You could see the electricity through the window, a blue light type thing. I was like, what in the fuck again? I left again and went back to Medicine Hat. I didn't know where to go. Not only that, but the first night that I was there, I heard 4 honks outside. I didn't even look because who knows? It's not my house. Bailey came downstairs from upstairs and he said his name is Teddy. Held on to Mocha's collar. And I looked at him like, huh? I looked outside, seen a gold tan colored car. I thought I was parked in his spot, so I went outside. The guy's window was rolled down. I smiled and nodded, asked him if I was parked in his spot. He started speaking Spanish to me. I was like, what the fuck? And then with the keys that were left in the door, yep, I left back to Medicine Hat. I stayed nights in the parking lot, up at a truck stop in Calgary, in the parking lot where in the back there was a Tim Hortons, or is a Tim Hortons. A silver Dodge pulled up but was parked in front of me. Looked like a work truck of some sort. I noticed a guy sitting in the passenger side of the vehicle pushing buttons on a laptop or tablet on the dash, just here and there. Then one of those nights I started crying and this bright light shined down on the pavement in front of me. I thought it might be coming from this semi who flashed some sort of light. I definitely wasn't going to park in that spot, if that's what it meant. I had no clue. Then another time a black truck pulled up to the gas station, honked 4 times again. I heard it, I stayed back, was like, Jesus fuck, what the... And the only person I could think of was Allie or Jeremy. Was like, nope. Then I went and parked closer to the front of the parking lot so I could see what was going on. A silver SUV pulled up under the light, showed some neat things on the vehicle. Then another car pulled up, looked like an unmarked police car. I'm sure she was doing some tricks with her car, got gas and left. It was funny. Fucking assholes. I know who it was too. LOL. Crazy shit, I tell you. One night some guy pulled up beside me, asked me if he could give me a hug. I was like, okay. But then he kept coming on to me. I was like, oh fuck no. I'm like, back off, God. And then he's like, follow me down to this park. Weird, all the way around. Suddenly I realized that this isn't where I wanted to be parked or staying. This was before I found shelter at Strathmore Overnight Shelter. Got back to Medicine Hat, and then I started applying for jobs. I didn't know what to do. I was lost. I was trying to access help in Medicine Hat and kept getting turned away. I applied to Grey Clips in Calgary, went and did an interview and got the job. However, I was floating everywhere. Well, my main place was Lansdowne or Rick Plaza, but then they moved me wherever they needed me, and that was okay. I was living in my car at the time and needed to find shelter. One night I stayed at the McLeod Plaza. I could barely sleep. I had to pee really bad. It was cold out, and I squatted and peed. Oh no, that was the Heritage Plaza. After peeing, I got back in my car and noticed this guy walking across the parking lot with a backpack. I never thought much of it. I started calling shelters again. I got in at the overnight shelter, and the lady's name was Jen, that I was on the phone with and whom I talked to. I told her I had a job and was allowed to, and she said that I was allowed to stay there with my dog, but Mocha had to be right beside me at all times. The owner of this place, this guy said to me at night, keep Mocha off the floor. Okay, never thought anything of it. She sleeps with me anyways. I was working at Great Clips, and suddenly this big truck pulled up outside, and it looked like a Latino Jose came in to the store and started talking to this black lady working there, and said he would be back at 9. We were closed at 8. I was like, what in the fuck? I noticed that sometimes while talking to the staff and whatnot, they were either mumbling or never said anything, just saying random things as well. I finally had it. Tired bitches stalked more and more. One of my ex's friends came in there and needed a haircut. Thomas was his name, and he was also used by my ex-husband as well. His name, but was under another name that resembled the name Thomas. He then said something to me weird about Medicine Hat in conversation, like mumbling, like blah, 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 blah. I said something about being from Medicine Hat, and he mentioned he knew the river and the church there. He started mumbling random shit too. I quit. I wound up walking out and quitting and crying in my car.